Hi, Michael here. This is part 3 of our video series where I compare the printer config of each operating system, and this time it's Mac's turn. If you have seen the other videos, that's cool. If you haven't, I'll explain a little bit what we're doing. First, I set up the computers as an island, connecting to as many of these as they'll allow, so no connection to the outside world. And then whatever I can't configure that way, I end up using the internet or whatever, download the drivers specific to the printers and scanners, whatever, and bring it up to speed. And then I see how it shares out the printers as a potential network service, and also see how the other operating systems interact with it. I've done Linux so far and Windows. It's now Mac's turn. That's about as clear as I can make it. Okay. So, I'll plug in all the printers. Here goes the XP600. The SCX 4500. Which one have we got here? That is the Brother HL1110, and I'm just about out of USB ports. Here goes the Dymo label writer. Okay, so we'll see what comes up. Seems to have detected something. Okay, I'm given the option of downloading the SCX 4500. Well, the first thing I have to do is actually make sure I'm not able to download, because we are testing this as an island. So I'll disconnect the internet from the system. So I can't do that. So what I'll do is a manual setup. Not now. Set up printers. First thing I'll have to do is set up the network to allow independent working here. Alright, where's the network? There we go. Can't use that. Use manual. Ah, 5 will do. Doesn't matter. Okay. Proxies. We won't have any proxies. Okay. So that was actually quite smooth to set up. I must say that was an easier setup than Windows network setup. Quite a bit easier. Actually very nice to do. Don't want Wi-Fi. Let's just see whether we have a valid network. Here we are. We have an IP address that I've assigned. That was actually quite a smooth setup. I've got to say the Windows setup was actually quite a bit more difficult. I might just see if I can zoom in. There we go. What can we do? That's working. Okay. Is that more legible to you? Okay. You know, amongst all that gobbledygook, we have the IP address 192.168.1.5, and that was very easy configured on this Mac. Right. So we've got that happening. So the next question is, I'll just see whether it sees the network printers physically. So I'm going to ping. Oopsie. Oh, it's talking to the network printers. So, alright, our network is fully functional. The USB devices have all been detected. Let's go through the process of setting up the printers. I've made sure all the connections are valid. There we go. Printers. This is a residual from a last test. I'll just delete these printers, so starting from scratch. Delete printer. Now I have actually installed the drivers for this one, I think. I'm going to go plus. It sees the workforce and the CLP610. Okay, that's all it's seeing actually as printers, I think, as a possible install. Now I have, I believe, installed this driver on this machine, so it's not quite a fair. Okay, I'm just going to print that in the absence of a test page. Let's just print. Comes up in the preview fine. You see all that? I'll just make sure you can. That's showing there. Okay, now the printer has decided to fire up, so let's see how that goes. Just got over the road. Printed perfectly, all good. It's not a very exciting page because it just simply isn't. This is a test. That's fine. Alright, now let's see if we can scan from it. Open scanner. Well, that's worked beautifully. Okay. Now I can't remember whether I've actually installed this driver on here, so this may not be a fair test. Scan. That'll do fine. Well, that appears to be working perfectly. So we've got the workforce running beautifully, but like I said, I'm not sure whether I've installed the software for it already. Okay, now let's add another printer. The CLP610, which is a colour laser. Currently unavailable. Okay, so basically I've got a flat result. The software for this printer is currently unavailable. Please contact your printer's manufacturer for the latest software. Add printer. What does it do? Okay, here's some more detected printers. The XP600. Let's see if that works. Use. Okay, it's wanting to download the driver. Label. Choose a driver. See if we've got a choice somewhere here. Okay, no, I did actually install the Epson driver. So basically the Mac can't install anything, hardly, other than very, very much generic printers. So I'm stuck here. The Mac's pretty much useless as an island for installing printers. So, okay, the Apple's a dead duck as far as setting up printers on as an island. DHCP. Advanced, I need to set up proxies. Okay, let's remember my configuration from before. And again, Control C, IF config. Doodle.com, that'll do. Well, it's working fine. So the network setup on the Apple, I've got to say, is actually very, very smooth. That was very nice. Right, so we'll go back to our printer setup, wherever he's gone. Printers. Let's just see how that works. Add printer. What printers have I got on here so far? Well, let's go to the brother, see what happens there. Add. Downloading software, finding software. Well, I must say this is quite a pleasurable experience at the moment. Well, I've been waiting here for quite some time for the XP600. I'd say that's a dead duck. I'm trying to cancel it, won't listen. I don't know what to think here. We have kind of a frozen computer. Maybe I can kill this. Can I kill it? Google kernel task. Right. That task is hung for some reason. What have we got? I'm assuming that's the... I'll just quit it. I'm sure there's a better way of shutting down this program than I'm going to do, but I'm very much tempted to... that's annoying. What have we done? That one. Here, Ed, kill that. Pause, quit. Done. Okay. So I'll free that up. I'll restart that, see how we go. Printers. I've got to say, we've got 3 printers installed so far. Let's add another one. Now I'll try that XP600. It's finding the right type of machine. Okay, so something held up there. Might have been my fault. Alright. Anyhow, I've got 4 printers. So I've got the XP600. Label writer. Label writer, let's try that one. Is it coming? No, I think that means I'm going to have to download as well. So for the label writer, the CLP610, and I don't see the third one. Let's try an IP address, see how that one goes. We should be finding 192.168.1.208 is the address. Let's just try it. Oh, it's found it. Excellent. So once it was pointed to the right direction, configure. Unable to connect due to an error. Do you still want to create the printer? Cancel. Okay. Jet Direct is what we're after. Q. No. Address Q. I'll just call that Lexmark. This should be a freeform name, I would believe, if I'm reading this correctly. Let's go. Finding software for it. Will it do it? It looks like it is. Okay, excellent. So there are only 2 printers being cantankerous on the Apple. I'm still very happy with how smoothly that ran. That's definitely, as far as the commercial systems, by far the easiest to set up. That was very good. Alright, so now the painful bit, finding the software online. Dymo. That's Yosemite. That's the right one. Let's just see where that goes. Okay, there is a problem on the internet here. They've got a listing there for discussions.apple.com. Oh, it's 2014, it's probably irrelevant by now. Alright. Dymo, let's try that one. I don't like downloading any drivers unless I see it as the actual manufacturers. Ooh, that's sounding good. 3 minutes left. That was fairly smooth. I'll do the same for the Epson. Oh, not the Epson. What are we looking for? Yeah, the Samsung CLP610. Samsung CLP 610 ND Mac driver. Okay, run the downloaded file. Okay. Okay, that's right. Do it now. Okay, so that seems to be just a disk file image arrangement. Go back to setting up the printers. Add. Dymo label writer. select software. Read those instructions again. I guess this kind of install is about the same on all the systems. Downloading the specific software has its own little quirks, you have to work your way through them. This seems such heavy software for the little printer. But it may well install drivers for, I don't know, 1,000,001 of these LaborWriters. Let's see how it goes. I have no choice but to accept these licenses. What are we talking about here? This is the CLP610? Yes. Network. Next. It's found. Nice. Are we going for time left? All right. Finish. Well, that was fairly pain-free. It's quite surprising the 3 different operating systems have different painful printers to install. Now, where are all my printers? They're not showing up here, but how about when I go here to print? File. Move that up. Print. Okay. With installing those printers, we seem to have lost all the others. That may have been that bug that was showing up. Okay. Cancel. I'm going to reboot this machine. Unfortunately, the Mac takes a while to boot up. It's been at it for nearly 8 minutes now. Alright, what do we got? Okay, so we have got all the printers installed nicely. So if I want to go print, alright, click on the right one. File. Print. How many printers have I got to choose from? Yes, the whole range. In fact, I've ended up installing that twice thinking it wasn't working. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Well, I guess I should try the printer out. Print. I'm hoping that's working. There's a light flashing. So the CLP did not come up. I'm currently configuring it now. I suppose that's maybe an error of mine. We'll see how we go. 610. That'll do. Okay. Add. CLP 610. That appears to be doing its thing. I'll also send a test page to the XP600. Let's see what that does. That's come to life. Been printed. All good. The CLP610 is still taking its time. Okay, now that'll be interesting to see what the LaborWriter does. That's a leftover print from the cups. Set up. Alright. Nope, There's a CLP610. Yeah, all good. Oh, I don't know whether you can see that, but it doesn't matter. It's only showing some text. That's printed fine. That's printed fine. Okay, manually putting in the size of that label. Okay, wrong. Okay, that looks a bit more like it. Through the borders. Ah. Okay. It's the first time I've done this, so I might have some error in this. Okay. Okay. Yes. Wrong way. Okay. Format page. That looks promising. Okay, let's try printing that to the Dymo label. Righto. Print. There we go. Well, that didn't seem to do anything. We have a crash. That particular driver. Okay, so Apple's not without problems. I've had a few problems with Apple. Don't send. I might reduce the size of the page just to be sure. That's it. I'll make it 4 centimeters wide, 8 centimeters long, so it's going to be shorter. Okay, let's try that. File print. Let's try it. Looks completely wrong to me, but interesting. It could just be that we have that's not of any relevance to us. Cancel. Okay. Default settings. Last use settings. Cancel. Okay, well, how do I change the default settings of the printers? I'm really not given any options in there. Here we go. That might help. So the Dymo label writer, I don't have the option of setting it to the right size paper for it. That's interesting. Why can't I set the right paper size for the label writer in the driver? I think we have an issue. There must be a way around this. But I'm definitely using the right driver, definitely the right printers, even got the right picture for it, so it's definitely all correct. it's not giving me an option of changing those settings. That's interesting. So I have a problem here. I'd obviously have to hop online and figure out what's going on here. It is obviously correct set. It's got the right driver. It's even got the right logo. Definitely the right name. It's not giving me an option for paper size that's of any relevance. Everything's too big. It's giving me an error. The printer's stopped. So this one's actually a failure. So I'm stuck with a failure with the Dymo label writer, which is interesting. I did not expect that out of the Mac. I'll march on because I'm not going to spend any more time on what I can and can't do directly in the Mac here. What I'll do now is work out sharing. Sharing preferences. What have we got? Printer sharing. I'll leave them. Actually, I'll put them all on. Expand that window out any? That one is that well. Sorry, that one as well. Okay. So I've now shared this. I believe that's correct. I don't need to share anything else. Okay, let's do that. Is that done? Is that it? What do I do now? Close? So I'll do that again, just to be sure that I actually achieved that result. Gonna close that off. Printers. That's shared. 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 Okay, it's recorded all those settings. That looks to be just fine. Good. So I'm going to close that window now. I guess our process now is to discover it with we'll go straight up with the, I don't know, we'll start with the Linux. Now this machine has been set up to talk to the printers directly itself. So what I'll do is I'll remove all of this. Well, they've appeared directly into the cups window here. So I'm already able to, just double check that I'm not talking nonsense. That's the Dymo label printer, assuming it's plugged into this machine. This one here, I believe, is the one connected to the Apple. Well, what I'll do, I'll see what I can do from here. Interesting. Does it know what it is? No. Okay, so we have the same problem here that it doesn't know the paper size, but on cups here I should be able to do a cup custom. Well, I might have a go at printing from here. Blimey, I'll get that around here. Just create a write a document. Format. Anytime. Page. Custom. Use it, that'll do. Right, so I'm going to make it 10 centimeters wide, 5 centimeters high. Okay, apply. Yes. Okay, so now we've got that. test label. Bump out that, oh, I might make it a bit bigger, 24. Something a bit different. Okay. Oh, can't do that. Just want one label. Okay, so I'm going to go File, Print, and I'm going to go to, which one? Ouch, which one is that? I think that's the right one. I'm going to go OK. Okay. What I might do is delete the ones. Oh, these are left over from the Windows installation. Hang on, that's what's wrong. Delete. Okay, that's from the Mac. It's all. That's from the Windows. Properties. Mac. 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 It's on the Mac. Mac. Yeah, they're definitely all on the Mac. Perfect. Okay, now I'll have another go printing to that label writer. File. Print. There we go. Okay. Printer error. Okay, let's try to something else. File. Print. I don't know, the Lexmark. That's printing fine. File. Print. Okay, well, actually I might cancel that because I'll just use the printer dialog and do test page that way. Yeah, save that to school. There's a problem with the label writer. Don't know if you can see that. Yes, you can see that. Problem with the label writer, and the CLP610 has also got a problem. So what I'll do is properties. Can I print a test page? Problem. Couldn't execute a filter. Okay. Interesting. So the Mac, although it's very easily available to the CUP system, doesn't seem to have the same controls on it. Just double check that I'm not talking nonsense. It says letter. No, it's A4. Okay. Properties. Actually, I might print a test page after all. See what that does. Could not. Interesting. Why has it stopped? Are we having a problem with the Mac letting things through or not? Now the Lexmark worked fine. The Samsung CLP610 did not. Why? There's nothing sitting there particularly. Okay, so that hasn't worked. If I go back into OpenOffice, let's see what I can do with that. That is a little bit disappointing that doesn't work a little bit better. I'll just clear this. Cancel job. Cancel job. Cancel job. If I go Applications, Office, LibreOffice, that'll do. Format, page. F4, okay. Lexmark worked. Let's try the workforce. Interestingly, it's reporting an error, but the printer is actually firing up, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Well, it did actually just print. Let's just see what it did print. You print out the right page. File, file, print. Okay, so what I'm seeing from this is CUPS communicates beautifully with the Apple print system, but the Apple print system doesn't give feedback as to what the driver settings are and, you know, the printer settings are and so forth. Whereas, oops, where are we? Going the wrong way. That's what I've printed. There's no feedback from the printer service to the client as to how the drivers should work. Alright, so that all appears to work anyway, so I'll just move on to the Windows as a client. Now I've got all the printer drivers installed for these printers on the Windows, so I'm not sure this is going to be a fair test. I know that Windows needs the drivers installed as a client, otherwise it simply does not work. You can see these printers have been greyed out, as in they're no longer connected to the machine. The network printers are still connected. So I'll leave them there as they are, but I'll add a printer, I'll let it detect, see what it finds. But what I found with Windows is it's simply, it expects the service to just provide a connection, which is actually what Apple's doing, but it needs the drivers on the client machine. No printer. Printer after is not in there. Okay. We on the network. Well, appears to be right. Yep, it's all up and running, so I don't know what the problem is. Strange. Alright, so it's saying no network connection, but there is. Okay. Interesting. The Apple's at 62. What's this one at? 63, so they're not colliding. Alright, so if I was to go 192.168.1.62, yeah, it's not showing up here as a network service. Alright, what else have we got going here as a possibility? Next. Interesting to note that the connections just appeared simply straight up on Linux. I actually had to delete the printers that were residual. I didn't have to add any printers. On Windows it's quite tedious to try and find things. So as a client to the Apple, the Windows is difficult to set up. Yeah, well, it's all working. I know that it's working. Cancel that. Add a printer. Try that. Manual settings. I'll just double check that there are no options here to do with sharing. All I've got is a dialog here that allows me to share the devices. I've got options of managing the name, open printers and scanner preferences. Okay, so that's there. Sharing preferences goes back to that. There could be a hole in my knowledge, but I think I've hit the limit of what I can expect out of this. I can't get any connection from the Windows to this, so there is some difficulty, whereas the other two systems seem to be a bit more available as a share, and certainly Linux, because it actually provides multiple methods of connection. What can be installed is a package called Bonjour for Windows. Download. There we go, that sounds fair. I'm going to go to Apple. Let's do that. Terms. Okay. Yes. That was a pretty short and smooth download. Yep. Done. There we go. It's found DHL 1110. What I might double check is what printers I've still got residually set up on this machine, because I may still have some printers installed on this machine from before. I do indeed. Better remove them all. Remove device, yes. I've hit a snag with the Windows installation in that I'm trying to delete the printers that were previously installed on it, and I've hit a brick wall I'm unable to delete. I'm going to have to do a fresh install. I've looked online and there seems to be quite a lot of threads regarding this issue of not being able to remove printers. So what I'm going to be doing, pardon me, is doing a fresh install on Windows so as to have a clean new system. And I just want to note it in here the trouble that the printing configuration has caused on Windows. I did not have such problems on either on Mac or Linux. I think it's a worthwhile detail in this comparison. It is well, you can search the threads yourself, problems removing printers on Windows. You'll see lots of threads, lots of information on that. And so this is a big strike point against Windows. The other two have been quite smooth as far as this is concerned. Okay. Well, that was interesting. This video was made very, very long because of hassles along the way. I've done my best to cut out all the nonsense, but yeah, it's been about, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks since I took all the video. So it's been quite a marathon for me to sort out and unravel the mess and try and make it sort of reasonable sequence so you can view it without too much grief. The Microsoft not being able to delete printers and the solution being a fresh install was a very painful thing. Good thing I don't depend on it. I did the fresh install, and if you look at my other videos, you'll see I've done a dual boot install. That was the very machine. Right, so I didn't bother filming the client setup of the Microsoft, because the Bonjour basically gave you all the connections to the Apple, and it was a very smooth piece of software that Apple's provided. As soon as that happened, the Windows could magically see everything, and of course you need all client drivers on the Windows. So it's obvious that I don't need to show you that, going through the process of having to download and install all the client drivers. Yeah, so that's the third video complete. Feel free to subscribe, like, share, comment. Oh, you can even make a donation. I've got the donation link set up there. Of course, the more financial support I can get, the easier it is for me to get videos out. And yeah, if you've got suggestions for a video you'd like to see, or some other comparison, or some test, or some problem you're having, yeah, put a suggestion in there. I'll see what I can do. I think, well, that's it. Bye for now.